It's January, which means automakers from around the world are unveiling their newest models at the North American International Auto Show, NAIAS, in Detroit. However, once again, Tesla is not in attendance, instead opting to make headlines in California with the first public viewings of the Model 3. According to Forbes, the unveiling was a smash hit as long lines awaited those who wanted to get their first glimpse at Tesla's newest model, which features a full autopilot system. The car was on display at Stanford Shopping Center in Palo Alto and Westfield Century City Mall in Los Angeles. It was unclear if the Model 3 will be on display at the Somerset Collection showroom in Troy, as messages seeking comment on a possible Michigan display were not immediately returned. Tesla has not attended the Detroit Auto Show in a few years, because of state legislation passed in October 2014 banning the company having retail operations in Michigan. As a result, the company has elected to avoid the annual auto show, which features the majority major car companies from around the world. Before the 2018 NAIAS opens to the public from January 20th to January 28th at the Cobo Center in downtown Detroit, automakers show off new models and make world debuts and scheduled press conferences. Press preview days are scheduled for January 14th to January 16th, which is when to check in with MLF for any breaking news or coverage of fresh reveals.
When it comes to electric vehicles, range is a factor of utmost importance as it illustrates how far they could traverse before running out of battery. Boosting an electric vehicle's range could also mean boosting its market sales. Just last week, the new Nissan Leaf was reported to give a range of 225 miles, beating the Tesla Model 3 by 5 miles and putting it to the number 5 spot of the list electric cars with longest ranges. Nevertheless, range is just one of the many factors to consider in choosing the better electric car. Below is how the 2019 Nissan Leaf compares to Tesla Model 3. 1. Brand recognition. In the automotive industry, Tesla is a brand that is comparable to Apple of the computer, smartphone industry. With its sophisticated design and product quality, Tesla is tagged as the hottest corporate brand. Its strong brand recognition made approximately 500,000 people to reserve their own Tesla Model 3 units prior to their delivery. However, Tesla is not a commonplace for most of the automotive industry's current and potential customers. Some common people would not even know what Tesla is selling or have never heard of it. This is where Nissan beats Tesla in terms of brand recognition. It has been in the industry for quite a long time. In short, Tesla is the current hype, but Nissan has been the long-time trusted brand known by commoners around the globe. And people tend to keep going back to traditional automotive companies rather than trying a startup. 2. Network of charging stations. Tesla Model 3 could be a better choice when it comes to public charging convenience, thanks to its fast, well-integrated, reliable, and well-designed network of super-fast charging stations. According to GAS2Works research, this factor is a serious requirement for many electric vehicle users in their next purchase, but there are also a lot of users who do not consider public charging as a necessity at all. Although it may not be at par with Tesla's network of charging stations, Nissan's fairly developed CHAdeMO network of fast chargers could suffice the support needed in the regional electric car driving. 3. Other specifications and price. Comparing the two electric cars, Nissan Leaf has a bit lower specifications than the Tesla Model 3. For instance, it would take Nissan Leaf about 6.5 seconds to reach 100 km per hour speed, which is about 1 second slower than Tesla Model 3. Also, Nissan Leaf's charging speed is slower than Tesla Model 3-100 plus kWh versus 120 plus kWh. However, Nissan Leaf offers a much affordable price than Tesla.
Subaru's XV now comes with a bigger engine, stereo camera, eyesight, driver assistance and a revised infotainment system. Which do you rely on more, your eyes or your ears? Instinctively, most of us would say our eyes. Subaru thinks so too. It is the first to employ a stereo camera system to help drivers stay in lane and avoid collisions. The eyesight system will also prompt drivers fond of playing with their phones at the lights when the vehicle in front has started moving. And it will warn absent-minded ones who engage drive instead of reverse when there is an immovable object in front of them. The car's adaptive cruise control system is also tied to eyesight. All other such systems use radar, which listens for bounce-back radio waves. As with most systems, there are pros and cons. Eyesight allows for a sportier approach to keeping distance, braking and accelerating. In short, its behavior is more akin to a human driver's. Its adaptive cruise control allows for a smaller gap between the XV and the vehicle in front. Eyesight also applies the brakes rather late, just as any race driver would recommend. After having used radar-based systems, which typically have a longer range, eyesight is a little unnerving. Initially, I found myself applying the brakes before the system. But after a while, I learned to trust the system, which is more responsive than radar-based ones. Now, the cons. Like human sight, Subaru's detection system can be hampered when visibility is hampered. During Monday morning's torrential downpour, the system failed and a no eyesight sign flashed, a little alarmingly. According to Subaru, the system will also act up in low light conditions or against a strong light source, like the setting sun. It may not detect objects below 1 m tall and may not correctly gauge the distance of vehicles with unconventional shapes, like low-floor trailers. These are limitations which radar-based systems usually do not have. But I recall there have also been rare occasions when radar-based cruise control cut off for no apparent reason. Even with its limitations, the eyesight system is a desirable standard feature, especially for such a competitively priced vehicle. The XV, launched in the middle of last year, is now powered by a 2-liter engine instead of the previous 1.6. This makes it appreciably more drivable, with a stronger low-end response and a smoother high-end, past 4,000 RPMs. Overall refinement has improved as a result. Other features such as a slope holding button and off-road driving assistance X mode function complete the XV's 4-wheel drive package. Like most Subarus, the XV has always excelled in ride and handling. The latest version is no exception. You can take it round a fast bend with minimal fuss and maximum confidence. The new car comes with an improved 6.3-inch LCD infotainment monitor, with enhanced connectivity and navigation. Unfortunately, the Singapore map is not functional and could not be tested. But even without this, the XV with its bigger, B-Fire power plant is a strong proposition in itself. With eyesight, it is almost a deal you can make with one eye closed.
Nissan is teaming up with Japanese utility Kansai electric power company, KEPCO, and electronics company Sumitomo to test charging electric cars via remote control. The companies believe this could be an important step toward making electric cars into four-wheeled extensions of the power grid. The test will be conducted in Japan with 60 Albanian Lex electric cars and plug-in hybrids owned by individual customers and KEPCO. The cars will be equipped with hardware needed to enable remote charging, and linked to servers that will allow for data collection. It's part of the Kansai VPP project, an effort to integrate multiple power sources into what Nissan calls virtual power plants. Just as stationary battery packs can be used for energy storage, Nissan and other companies believe the battery packs in electric cars can be used in the same way. In theory, electric cars could absorb excess electricity from the grid during charging, and discharge that energy back into the grid during periods of higher demand. Evening out the amount of electricity being produced and the amount being consumed is called balancing the grid, and it could help prolong the life of grid infrastructure. Both the University of Delaware and the U.S. Air Force have tested this concept, often referred to as vehicle-to-grid or V2G, for short. But actually implementing it would require automakers to sell large numbers of electric cars capable of discharging power back into the grid, and automakers won't do that until regulations change. The regulatory situation for using electric cars as mobile power sources is decidedly murky and will need to be cleared up for V2G to be implemented in the US. Electric cars could also serve as an emergency backup power source if the grid goes down. This is a major issue in Nissan's home country of Japan, which is looking to avoid a repeat of the blackouts caused by the 2011 earthquake and tsunami, and the accompanying Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster. Nissan already offers a setup in Japan that allows the Leaf to power a house. At the US launch of the 2018 Leaf, the automaker said it was considering offering a similar system here. At the time, Nissan said the two major hurdles were regulations and finding a US-based hardware supplier.